but like if I'm at a Heritage Foundation event and I see somebody who looks trans, I immediately am like, okay, but like this took a lot of bravery to come here, and everyone there is going to know that.
Yeah, wow. Wow, why is it brave? Why is it brave to do that? It's almost like you're admitting that it's full to the brim of psychotic transphobes like you that are frothing at the mouth to exterminate trans identity. Wow. Well, yeah, why is it brave? Why is that, Based Camp? They tell on themselves, man. Anyway, notice that he said somebody that looks trans. Interesting. Interesting wording there. Interesting. It's almost like if you approach individuals with a transvestigation mindset, you will find lots of people that look trans when they're actually cisgender. Wow, wow. Wow, that's so intriguing. Wow. Why does that happen? I wonder why that happens.
About the time I played D&D and then a trans person joined my campaign.
It must be trans people's fault. It must be. Dude, yo, he's thinking right. The gears are turning. How do I turn this? How do I make transvestigations trans people's fault? How do I do that?
So this is not a phenomenon of individuals with transphobia. This is a universal phenomenon. Because I, went to Silicon Valley parties.
Wait. So wait, dude.
Stuff like that. All who got dates. The guys who don't take clothes, but sometimes dress in skirts and other like gender non-conforming things, they actually got dates. Okay, the trans women did not. And this is what she's also talking about with the genderqueer women who they saw as AFAB. If you are a woman who just dresses mannish or like a man but otherwise isn't going on hormones, you will be highly desirable to this type of person, right?
I think because one shows the former, where a guy just sometimes wears skirts, whatever, maybe a little bit ambiguous. That shows immense confidence.
Yeah.
When you choose to undergo.
Why? Like I don't get it. Why? Why is that acceptable? But identifying as a woman is not. Why? So it's acceptable as a cis person to wear clothes of the other gender, but it's not acceptable to be trans. Why? Because from your perspective, what you guys keep saying is that trans women aren't women. They're men wearing women's clothes. Okay, well, then how is cis men wearing women's clothes any different to you? How? I mean, you call men in drag, right? Drag queens, you call them trans women all the time, even though that's inaccurate. It's clearly inaccurate. You say that all the time. So why is it that where do you draw the line? Where do you say, okay, this guy is a trans woman because he's wearing a dress, but this man in a skirt, he's not. Like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. This is just a direct contradiction of shit that you were saying like 2 seconds ago, like literally, like a few days ago. You were saying the reverse exact opposite of this. I don't get it. Explain. I hope they explain.
Pronouns. You are using appeals to authority and exogenous interventions.
That's a good point.
That actually communicates a huge lack of confidence.
That's
and
really
what is the sexiest thing in the world? Confidence.
Mm. No, you're right. Where the trans identity as represented by chemical transition.
Okay, I kind of disagree with that. All right, I disagree with that. I disagree that that confidence is the most attractive thing. It's like you gotta have it. Like, not really. I've seen plenty of insecure people get in relationships, right? And I'll tell you how it happens. It happens when the other person, right, sees the insecurity and they know that it's a mask, right? Or they know that the insecurity is being masked by a behavior. And they see that insecurity and they don't see it as genuine. You know, and actually, you know, I'm not gonna like talk about real people I've known that are like this, but a really good example of this in popular media is fucking Rigby. Rigby from Regular Show, okay? Because what is Rigby's story? What is his story? Stop and think about Regular Show with me for a second, and we can stop. We can We can not think about this bullshit for like 5 seconds, okay? Rigby is an anthropomorphic raccoon person in the universe of Regular Show, in the fictional universe. And what is Rigby? Rigby is crass, right? He's rude. He is performatively annoying, right? Why? Why is it? Why is he like that? Okay, well, the real reason, as it's revealed, slowly throughout the show, is Rigby didn't graduate high school. Rigby flunked out. He didn't get his diploma. He failed. And he became a burnout with his friend Mordecai. Right? And how that happened is a whole other story, but it doesn't matter right now. Okay, basically, Rigby is a loser by societal standards. Okay? He feels like a loser. He feels like a failure. He's deeply insecure. Okay? So he hides this within himself, and in order to hide it, he pushes a personality outward. Okay, a bombastic, high energy, annoying person. Okay, genuinely. And anyway, my theory is that these kinds of people do exist. And I think that they push people away, right? If anybody does get close to them, they never have to reveal their true selves, but that doesn't usually happen anyway. Nobody gets close to them, and that's by design. Okay, that's by the design of the personality, which they have carefully crafted. Okay, in order for people to not get close to them, because if they have close relationships, those people will figure out that they are a loser, and then they will reject them, and rejection is just affirmation that they are a loser, burnout, and that's exactly what they're trying to avoid, okay? So Rigby is only friends with Mordecai. Mordecai is Rigby's only friend, okay, truly. And Rigby is friends with him because Mordecai doesn't really acknowledge that Rigby is a loser. To Mordecai, Rigby is just his friend, and like he sees all the virtues of Rigby. Okay, now here we're finally coming to the conclusion. Okay, see, Rigby has these personality traits that are actually very attractive. Okay, to like universally, they're universally attractive. Rigby is loyal, right? He sacrifices for his friends when push comes to shove. He seems like a selfish person on the surface, but like I said, that is a mask that he wears to push others out. Okay? Now, there is a person in Rigby's life, other than Mordecai, that saw this. Okay? And that is, of course, Eileen. Okay? Eileen saw through Rigby's own mask, right, is this shell that he had constructed, because she, well, actually, I don't really know how. I haven't exactly figured that one out, okay, within the story. But somehow she sees through it. Eileen is a very intelligent person, like she's constantly been, all of her life, she's been surrounded by intellectuals, right? Honors classes, stuff like that. She's gonna go to college, right? Or I think she is at college when the show is taking place. So, but anyway, she sees through the veneer that is Rigby's personality, and she likes what she sees. Because Rigby may not be a smart man, he may not be intelligent, but and he may not even be hardworking, but he is loyal, and he perseveres. Okay, and he's not a hard worker in the sense that he does good at his job, or that he pursues, academic awards. But he is a hard worker when it comes to protecting his friends and securing whatever they need for the plot of the story. Right, and that's Rigby. That's Rigby and Eileen. Okay, and you will see things like this in real life. Okay, occasionally. It's not very common. Okay, but think about the people around you. Think about the way they act. You probably know a Rigby, and they're probably alone. Okay, but they may have a heart of gold, just like Rigby does. You never know unless you think very carefully about it. All right, Eileen noticed it because Rigby, they were just proximally close. Rigby would go to the coffee shop every day. Okay, that's one way she saw through it. I forgot to mention that. Anyway, let's keep going.
I'm going to use our cultural norms to force you to see me in a certain way.
I can't do this by myself. I can't just dress like a woman when I want to dress like a woman. Or...
Oh yeah, but my point is that Rigby is not a confident person, right? And these people are never truly confident, but they can still be appealing. They can still be attractive, right? Deeply insecure people can have hearts of gold. They can care deeply about the other people around them, and that is real attractiveness, right? That is real personable attractiveness. Okay, that's what people like. Okay, like these conservatives, they talk a big game about the self, right? About like independent, the pursuit of independent happiness, the virtues of individuality, but don't be fooled. Okay, these people, they love altruism. Okay, they do. They love people putting ideology, putting nationalism above themselves, above their own selves as individuals. Okay, but they pretend like it's not an attractive trait. Like, being selfless is, oh, that's not attractive. That's just suicidal empathy. That's suicidal empathy. Okay, no, it is an attractive trait for somebody to put others above themselves, to put the collective good above themselves. Obviously. Anyway, let's keep going.
I'm going to use. I'm not strong enough to do it by myself, so I'm going to use societal norms to enforce this, and I'm going to use surgery and/or chemicals to enforce this.
Yeah, and in chemical communities where people are putting like name and pronouns in their bios. This is not a hostile community, right?
Yeah, sure.
And meanwhile, men did not approach trans women for sex or dating. But men did approach cis women and non-binary AFAB people for sure. And while cis women tended to ogle other cis women, and by extension, force AFAB non-binary individuals into the cis women box, they didn't seem to have much interest with trans femmes. Now, what this does say to me is if, like, one of our kids was like, desperately, like, I want to be trans, I'd be like, genuinely, it seems by the data, if you just decide to be a crossdresser, you'll have a better life. Like, that's sort of what this is suggesting here, which is something that I had seen, but it didn't click for me before. It was like all the cis men and women were interested in all other cis women and cis men, and anyone they perceived...
No, if you look, it didn't click for me before. Yeah, it did, okay? It's always clicked for you. And by clicked, I mean, cherry-picking data to affirm my preconceived, bigoted suspicions about trans people. Okay, of course. That's why you bring up the suicide rates, which I'm surprised you haven't done yet. Okay, but, like, that's why you do it. Is to say, like, it's actually more worth it to just suppress your transness, to be just a cross-dresser. And by the way, I'm not saying that cross-dressers are all, like, secretly trans, okay? Please don't misconstrue my words. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. My bad if that's a straw man, okay? But, like, that isn't what I'm saying, okay? Cross-dressers, they're real people. They do what they do, whatever, okay? But what he's saying here is something that transphobes have said for a long time, and he's probably said this exact thing before. Like, oh yeah, just hide your transness. It's actually better than coming out. It's actually better. That's what they used to say about fucking gay people. That's what they say every time. All the time. Every time, all the time. You're a Nazi.
I don't think I fit in. I don't think I fit in at all. And there's a picture of her where she's like,
this is what the Nazis said as well, by the way.
It was nice, but not fully me either. When I
I
first
feel really bad for her, right? Like, she's going through this awkward phases, she just wants to be loved, she just wants to be, accepted, she was promised.
Yeah, I'm so virtuous. I feel so much sympathy. I just want to fucking, I want to kill them. My bloodlust. is insatiable. I have to kill. I have to kill trans people. Yeah, dude, you're so virtuous, dude. You're so sympathetic. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow, you're such a good person. Thank you. Thank you for sharing how bad you feel.
Still feel bad. I want people to get what they think they're getting, and I do think she was sold a bill of false goods. I think that she was lied to by society about what was going to happen when she pursued this course of action.
No, I completely agree. I mean, this is what you see with all of her anger about her nude tubing career not taking off, with the agency that watched our other video on it. This whole thing that she started was at least in part over the fact that a nude tubing agency didn't want to hire trans nude tubers because they said that nobody wants to watch them, basically.
Which I guess just when you read this now, it adds this whole other layer. That this is this huge thorn in her side, this huge sore point of like, oh great, once again, because I'm a trans woman, no one wants me.
Yeah.
Like, we're just snapping and then coming at.
Well, and because what you'll see at the conclusion of this article
Is this why? Is like this sort of thing? Wait. Is this?
By the way, this woman that they're talking about, it's funny that they're saying this because they're talking about one, and by the way, I hadn't even heard about this, okay, but maybe it's true, okay, I'll take them on their word, whatever, okay, a lewd tube company didn't want her, oh no, okay, this person who they're reading this very personable article from, like basically a blog, is what it feels like, you know, like a diary. Okay, this person is way more successful than any of the losers in this frame of this video will ever be. Okay, they're more successful than Leaflet, they're more successful than Mr. Basecamp, they're more successful than Girl Boss Basecamp. Okay, she is. Okay, this trans woman that they're talking about, straight up. Okay, I don't know everything about her career. I don't know every little thing. But from what I do know, is she has done so much more than any of these fucking losers have done. Okay, like what the fuck does Leaflet have? A VTube channel account that was failing 6 months ago, that was dead in the water, revived by Asmongold out of pure pity. Because you fucking gargled his balls for enough days in a row. He was like, alright, I guess I'll shout out Leaflet. Who the fuck is Leaflet? You know, and now you can't stop playing that soundbite. Okay, like this person that they're talking about, she has written articles for, like, let me just pull it up. Anna Valens has 10 years of experience in writing for Vice, The Daily Dot, Fanbyte, Polygon, Dot Esports, The Mary Sue, and others. Yeah, wow, what a loser. Wow, I feel so bad for her. It's
like,
crazy to me,
power
man.
shift in society, like trans people just took it as hard as possible and tried to use it as hard as possible. Just
How many subscribers do these fucking people have anyway? 70,000. 70,000, wow.
It's like this sort of thing. Wait. Is this why? Like when the power shifted in society, like trans people just took it as hard as possible and tried to use it as hard as possible just because of like the not having power the entire other time. It was like an overzealous use of the power that they acquired. But the problem is though, is like I'm thinking about people I know who are trans, and they.
Okay, so you're admitting that they are oppressed, that they have been oppressed. So you're saying that now. All right, yeah, well, I agree with that. I don't agree that they're abusing their newfound power. That's insane. What the fuck?
They had boyfriends and girlfriends.
What is your evidence?
So like
They have
like a long
they
time.
have boyfriend and
Like
girlfriend.
they were pretty desirable in terms of like nerd communities, but then I think about it and they weren't terrible people on top of it. So like, is this just like a skill issue? Like I'm like trying to think of it like right now because I legitimately know trans people that have had non-trans significant others that were in long relationships. But then I think about them as people, and they're not awful people. Like they're actually quite nice.
You mean
They're actually quite
cis
nice and,
people?
like one person I know that like this is quite demure, right? And they're not.
Yeah, man, it's almost like trans people are normal people, and it's almost like there are tons of cis people out there, cisgendered people that are not cissexuals. Okay, they're not. Okay, because it doesn't fucking matter, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
I'm trying to think of it, right? Anna Valens is just unbearable. No, but the thing is in this account, Anna Valens is not only talking about like themselves, but also about other people within these communities. So hold on. This actually might be the funniest shit if this is real. Theory. These like ultra inclusive communities are actually the least inclusive. That would be fucking hilarious. It's like all of this like urban monoculture is just intolerant. Like they're actually the most intolerant people, even to themselves. Oh my god. Oh jeez. That's actually so funny.
She says basically, well, I was wrong to try to get cis women to like me in this environment, but now
So
I'm a
funny.
YouTuber, I have all of these cis women fans, and I have finally
Oh my
a community
God.
that accepts me. And what you realize is
I drank so much water. I need to breathe there. I'm back.
being turned down by this community and this community rejecting her, I think was really horrifying to her because it reflected to her that no, this new community. And
I skipped the toilet. I did. You know what? Like I was thinking about stuff. I was taking like a quick break. I was just chilling for a bit. Now I was really thinking about it. I really think that these situations are probably just really toxic. Just really.
What were you thinking about? I've never done that. Right? I have never... Have I ever done that? Okay, I know I've paused the stream before, but usually I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pause the stream. I don't say I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Then I'm gone for 20 minutes. That's crazy.
Fucking awful and toxic. And like they're actually the least tolerant people. On top of that, like I wonder if this has to do with the demographics. Though.
So much for the tolerant left.
Right? If they're just like awful in general. Thinking of the toilet creates colors. I do a lot of thinking in the shower and on the toilet. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
like I said, reading her blog is really sad because it's a bunch of, now I found a place where I fit in, then 3 posts later, I hate this group now, here's a new community, I just found where I fit in. And what you realize is that, you know, this is one of the things I often see with detransitioners, because I meet a lot of them at like Heritage Foundation events and stuff like that, is one of the things that they're most surprised about. And we have some like detransitioners in our fan community as well and stuff like that, and they even like list this in our bio, is they think that the community's gonna like jump on them or have some hostility to them if they're in like a conservative community, at least within our type, like new right, tech right, conservative. And I think, you know, I talk to them and they're like, I am surprised by how nice everyone here always is.
Okay,
You know,
so that's actually what I was like talking about too. How like these people are just they're just like the quote unquote most tolerant people. The most tolerant like leftist people are actually like for real the actual assholes. They're the actual intolerant people. Then you go to like a conservative things like wow, they're all
there's
nice.
not, and I think that that's
No. Nah, man. Straw man. Straw man. Oh, we don't want to kill detransitioners because they conveniently serve our narrative. Wow. Wow, so surprising. Yeah, leftists don't hate detransitioners either. Okay? Not by and large. And there's a reason for that, okay? Detransitioners, see, the detransitioners that right-wing groups attract are very different from the ones that left-wing groups attract. And that is for a very good reason. Okay? And that is that there are some detransitioners, very few, but some that believe that, like, they were wrong about their gender identity. And that's their motive for detransitioning. And that's fine. That's fine. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Okay? And most of them that... even the ones that say that, okay, which is a minority of detransitioners, most of them will say, you know, even though I found out, like, it wasn't for me, like, I'm not really trans, okay? You know, other trans people, it's fine. It's fine. Like, a lot of them say that. I actually... never mind. Never mind. It doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. My personal anecdotes don't matter in this circumstance. What does matter is that most detransitioners, they detransition for a very different reason, which is that they were harassed, they were bullied, they were not supported in their community. And so they were like, well, I should probably fucking detransition before, you know, I end up dead in a fucking shallow grave in the middle of nowhere. That is why most people detransition. Okay? And those people, yeah, they're not gonna join Based Camp, let me tell you.
what they're realizing is they came from a community where they were constantly searching for self-validation, only to realize that the only community that's really going to, you know, validate you for who you are is going to be the tech right.
It's so
like
true.
A very specific thing. And unfortunately,
well, just like
the
you're not a
trans
scumbag,
woman is
will
not
be
something
nice
that's going to
and
give you the validation that you want. So when I first moved to, and this is the other thing I know about Heritage Foundation events, there are trans people.
I have a friend. I had a friend a while ago. I don't know if they like me anymore, to be honest. I haven't talked to them in quite some time. But there was a trans person I knew, and they were not like, how do I explain it? Basically, they never talked about being trans, and like they had a girlfriend, like a actual like, you know, natal female girlfriend, and they were together for like forever, and they were super fucking cute, and this person never had any problems with anybody. So it's like, this is why like I think about things and like, dude, are these people just insufferable? Is it just like a skill issue basically, where like so many trans people are just so insufferable that like, nobody likes them, right? Because I've seen cases in which that wasn't the case, where like a normal person.
No, man.
Like,
a normal person. Trans people are normal people. They are just like you. Actually, they're a lot better than you, because they're not fucking smarmy and annoying like you try to say they are. They're just normal fucking people with friends and family and loved ones. That's it. That's all they fucking are, dog. You are the annoying one without friends. All you do is fucking stream all day. And you have 0 friends outside of this, I'm sure.
You know, a person who is trans, but they don't talk about it.
Your friends are really just opportunists that are waiting for you to slip up. So most of your fans will leave, and then they can siphon them away from you. Okay, that's it.
4/7, and then like they actually were able to.
Right, like me, that's what I'm trying to do. But like, at least I'm honest about it. Right, like I'm not over here pretending to be your friend. I'm just a fan of yours, right? I'm just like a watcher. I'm a long-time Leaflet watcher. I'm very invested in the Leaflet episodic, in the Leaflet epic. Okay, I'm a close watcher. Right, I'm here, and that's what I'm here for. Okay, there are people in your audience that will see the light inevitably. I hope that I welcome them with open arms to the J-Star broadcast. Okay, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Okay, but I'm happy for them to come over here.
A girlfriend, and by the way, the trans person was like the girl in the relationship. Like, you know how like even in like a lesbian relationship or gay relationship, so it's like one person is like more the girl and one person is more the guy in the relationship. The trans person was the girl in the relationship between like the natal female and them, and nobody ever had a problem. Like I haven't seen any problems with them. Nobody had ever had a problem with them. And it must be that these people just have a skill issue. Like, they're just so insufferable that nobody likes them. Like, I really think that's what it is. You can find isolated trans people on their own, they're often quite decent, and those
yeah, man.
community are not yet.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Me Leaflet. The one trans person that I know is actually pretty cool. But, you know, all of these right-wing people that I watch keep saying that all of these trans people are insane. And all of my viewers keep saying the same thing. So, most trans people must be insane, and I just know one of the good ones. And I just know one of the... No, man, they're lying to you. They're lying to you, dumbass. What the fuck? How can you be this delusional? How? Like I met a trans person and immediately I was like, oh, okay. Oh, alright, trans people are cool. Oh, wow, wait, they like Fallout New Vegas? Wait, no, so do I. Wow. So, like, that's the way it is. Like, you meet a trans person, you will quickly find out you know, sometimes they'll like some of the things that you do. Just like normal people. Wow, sometimes you meet someone and they like the same things that you do. Wow, that's so crazy.
That's what I mean. It's like just
I can't believe that.
You left this community of like ultra, we are so tolerant, those people are actually the biggest assholes. That's kind of what it almost feels like, right? Yeah.
Started detransitioning. Like, they look like trans people. It is not that they are being treated nicely because they don't look like
maybe they're trans because they're insufferable and not the other way around. They might be. I don't know. But this is like a really interesting because like I'm trying to think about this and then like kind of link it to like situations that I know, and I'm like, it doesn't really paint the same picture. But then I think about it.
No, you are trying. Are there trans people that are insufferable? Sure. I've met trans people that I don't like, literally. Okay, well, I've met like one trans person that I don't like. Okay, it happens. But you are trying to make that about their transness, and it's not. Sometimes you meet people and you don't like them because they're bad, or maybe you're in the wrong. Maybe you don't know. Okay, maybe, I don't know. Like, it'd be like that. Okay, sometimes you just don't like a person. It has, and you are trying to ascribe that to a person's gender identity. And that's fucking stupid, because the things are totally unrelated, right? Like, the idea that trans people are insufferable, why? What about I have yet to hear one reason that their transness is what makes them insufferable. Even if I were to accept your framing here, that this trans person in particular that y'all are talking about is insufferable. Okay, you know, first of all, how? And then second, how is it connected to this person's trans identity? I'm not following. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's completely disconnected. What is the connection? They're insufferable. Okay, I disagree, but sure. Okay, they're trans. How are these two things related? Oh, it's because they're trans. Oh, of course. Wow, I can't believe I didn't think of that. I can't believe it.
Absolute fucking psycho. It's like, I don't understand. Right? It's like, is that, are they like these kinds of people, which is why people find them to be so insufferable?
Trans people.
I don't know.
They look like trans people, but like if I'm at a Heritage Foundation event and I see somebody who looks trans, I immediately am like, okay, but like this took a lot of bravery to come here, and everyone there is going to know that, except for.
Slogy says I met D&D. I played D&D with a trans person. They're the only person in public meltdowns, dude.
Yeah, wow. Why is it brave? Why is it brave to do that? It's almost like you're admitting that it's full to the brim of psychotic transphobes like you that are frothing at the mouth to exterminate trans identity. Wow. Well, yeah, why is it brave? Why is that, Based Camp? They tell on themselves, man. Anyway, notice that he said somebody that looks trans. Interesting wording there. Interesting. It's almost like if you approach individuals with a transvestigation mindset, you will find lots of people that look trans when they're actually cisgender. Wow, that's so intriguing. Wow. Why does that happen? I wonder why that happens.
About the time I played D&D and then a trans person joined my campaign.
It must be trans people's fault. It must be. Dude, yo, he's thinking right. The gears are turning. How do I turn this? How do I make transvestigations trans people's fault? How do I do that?
It killed the campaign first session. Like actually, like we had like a campaign. We were all ready to go. We had a bunch of people ready to play, and it died the instant the trans person joined. And do you want to know why? Get this.
Because you're all transphobes.
Okay, they were playing a succubus, and they kept trying to grape the paladin in our own party. Yeah. If you don't know the story, I tell the story. I told the story before. But the succubus person was trans. Yes, and the paladin was just a normal ass dude. The paladin was just like, oh, I just want to, I love the light. I'm a paladin. I'm you're just a good boy paladin. I'm just a paladin. I just want. Yeah, there's a song about it. If you guys didn't know, there's a song about it.
Lame. Dude, non-Oathbreaker paladins are so fucking lame, dude.
Yeah, basically the guy, he was just like, yeah, he's a himbo paladin player, and he's like a paladin, and then so what happened was, I'll tell the story real fast, like Cliff Notes version, so I'll go through it real quick. So this is like a campaign we were gonna play, my brother was DMing, and then...
Okay, Paladin, sorry, okay, we're getting off topic, okay. Paladin is not a himbo class. No, that, like, you can't be a himbo paladin, no. You could be a himbo fighter, right? You could even be a himbo barbarian, but paladin? No.
We used to have tons of rule that we used in all literally
No,
games.
because paladin, you have to understand like what a himbo is. Okay, what is a himbo? A himbo is a person that's like, it's like the male version of a bimbo, obviously. It's like a hot, attractive, stupid person. Okay, that's what they are. Okay, a paladin, it doesn't have like it's not that a paladin can't literally be stupid, okay? But they don't seem stupid on the surface. Like they don't get me wrong, like they can be dumb, but they never really seem that way because they're charismatic. Okay, they got charisma. Okay, they don't seem dumb. Okay, they're all about like preserving, protecting or non-Oathbreakers. Okay, keep in mind I'm talking about non-Oathbreaker paladins. Paladins are all about like protecting the innocent, right? Doing what is right by their code. Okay, they're basically like they're kind of like cops, okay, but like in a more epic way. Okay, in a more epic way. Okay, anyway, because there's actually a mechanism to hold them accountable, but that's a whole other story. Okay, paladins are all about like protecting the innocent. Okay, they seem kind of intellectual on the surface a little bit, like they have like a deeper sense of purpose, right? That's not very himbo. Okay, himbos are like I have a sword, I'm gonna hack and slash things until they die. Okay, that's a himbo. That's a himbo, right?
But anyway, the thing was called heroic feature, which basically everybody could make up their own ability, and that was like a homebrew role that we had. And it was like their own special ability, their own special thing in the world, right? And the succubus player was like, the trans person was like, oh well, I want to be able to seduce people and like mind control people into fucking me. And my brother was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but you know what, sure, like it's your game, like you can do whatever you want, like if you want to do that, fine. But my brother goes, there's one condition, and the trans person was like, what? And then my brother goes, you can't fuck a player character. like if you want to use the ability to force people to have sex with you, you can only do it to NPCs. And the trans person was like, okay, that's fair enough, fine. Right. So what happened was, anyway, we were playing. Like I think I was playing a rogue. And then I think I was playing a slime girl rogue. But anyway, moving on. We get it. I don't remember. I might have been playing something else. I have so many characters. But we get to a point in which we're in a tavern, and then it was like, okay, you rest at the tavern for the night. I'm like, I'm gonna go get a steak. It's like I'm eating steak downstairs. Paladin's like, well, I'm gonna go rest. Well, guys, I'm gonna go rest. See you in the morning party. And so like, he goes upstairs, and then the trans girl's like, hey there, big boy, and the Paladin's like, oh, and then that second is like, yeah, and then it's like, yeah, you want to get a room with me or whatever, and then the fucking Paladin guy was like, no, I'm a Paladin, I'm gonna go pray. I'm gonna go pray. And so the Paladin, he goes to his room, and then the trans person gets so fucking triggered that the trans person goes, okay, I use my mind control on him. And my brother's like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, you cannot. That was literally the condition of you having that power. And then the trans person goes, well, this breaks my immersion. My immersion is now broken. I should be able to use my ability on whoever I want. And the Paladin guy was like, well, I don't really want to fuck your character. And then the trans person's like, why not? And then the Paladin's like, I just want to play D&D. And then the trans person's like, I use my mind control ability. My brother's like, you can't do that. And like, don't break my immersion. And so like the Paladin goes, okay, I'll make this easy. I quit. And he just laughed. He just left. He's like, okay, I see where this is going. I'm fucking done. And he just immediately quits the campaign. He never came back. He quit and he never came back. He never spoke in the group chat or anything like that ever again. He was just gone. Yeah, dude was gone. I never spoke to that guy again. Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. I was kind of sad though because I kind of liked the campaign, but but yeah, I mean that's what happened. That's what happened.
I think
That's what happened.
They treated like some gay people poorly, but whatever. Like you can't place everything. But I think
you can't control. I mean, since it was more open event, you can't control if some comes to your thing.
When I first moved to NYC, 2016 to 2020, I was in a Brooklyn trans girl community made up of writers and musicians and other creators. A twinkie thin Irish blonde girl with curves in all the right places. Yeah, my first 4 years in Brooklyn were busy. A revolving door of sexual partners, one after another.
Jeez.
Threesomes, couple swaps, sex parties.
Interesting story, Leaflet.
Me to compare notes with other T-girls. The first time.
Wait, what? What?
Partners, one after another. Threesomes, couple swaps, sex parties.
So you're telling me that the victim of this creepy behavior, you knew him well enough to have a campaign with him, right? Which is like I'm not saying that like you can't start a campaign with strangers, right? But like you started a campaign with this person. You didn't do anything to them. Another person, and you never heard from him again, right? You had a good campaign going with a cool little special rule set, right? That you all liked, and then and like he had no problems with you, and you're both D&D players, and campaign over, and you never heard from them again. Conveniently, the victim of this story, right? The person that got that was like, low-key kind of like kind of sexually abused, okay, kind of, right? I mean that is sexual harassment, like what you described there. Obviously that's sexual harassment, like, and it obviously I doubt the authenticity of that story, right? But just to be clear, like that rule that you talked about, that's completely understandable, right? Not being able to use the ability on player characters. Of course, like your character represents you, right? Mind controlling your player character into sexual activity, that's not right. Okay, but anyway, this person you never heard from him again. Interesting. So the one person that could corroborate this story, poof, it's gone. Interesting.
T-girls effing me to compare notes with other T-girls.
Is this like fucking National Geographic? What the fuck?
The first
This
time.
sounds awful.
Yeah, awful.
Right.
Exactly.
These are
Exactly.
These are the happy times for her.
These are the happy times.
Okay.
She moved to New York 2016 to 2020, and she was passed around because she had just become a woman, and she now was sexually promiscuous, but it was mostly T-girls. But also you're getting this understanding of when she was younger and trans, her youth allowed her to get through some of this and created the illusion for her that she would still
Oh
get
no, so she's not only a trans woman, she's a trans woman who's hit the wall. This
She's
is
a
horrible.
post-30 trans woman.
Oh no. Okay, that's really rough. Yes.
And
I didn't
dedicated.
think that. I mean, like, and I think men really don't think about the wall as well. So like, here's this whole thing that they were never prepared for.
It's so performative. And yeah, men do hit a wall. What the fuck? What? Like I said earlier, I feel like men hit a worse wall than women do. Okay, it's not really talked about as much because women are like there's this hyperfixation on what basically our society infantilizes women, like younger women are more attractive. The same isn't really true for men, okay? Not like obviously the reality is everybody gets uglier as they get older, obviously, generally. Okay, everybody gets slowly uglier as they get older, okay? That's just whatever. Okay, and I mean like it varies from person to person, of course. That's why you have cougars, of course. Okay, but anyway, that generally is true. Okay, but there's this idea in society that men age gracefully and women do not. Okay, and this is because women are infantilized. Okay, they historically they have literally been treated as children, even when they're adults. Like this is a long time thing. Okay, that's been fought against. But here we are in 2026, and we're still doing it. Okay, we're still doing it. You know, whatever. Women, they hit the wall. Men do not. Men get hotter as they get older. They get rustic. Okay, it's not the case. Okay, men get old and fat. They do. Your dad has a beer belly. Okay, of course he does. Of course he does. It's your dad. Okay, that's what happens. That's what happens to him.
They grow up with, at least the, old maid and,
Yeah, I think a lot of trans women, and that's a great point, don't have an understanding that this
because
is
men grow up with the understanding that their value is only going to appreciate as they get older, and I think that's very deep in.
Yeah, you hit the wall pretty
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, men do grow up believing that. I agree with that. It's just not true. It's just, then they get there and they're like, oh, wait, if I wanted to be hot as an old person, I should have, like, taken care of myself. I should have, I don't know, like, consistently taken care of myself. That's what happens to most men, okay? You know? And you don't have to be a gym rat, okay? That's not what I'm saying. But you do need to do some routine exercise, right? You need to try to eat healthy, blah, blah, blah. That's how you remain attractive when you get to your middle age. That's it. Okay, but that's true across the board, right? That's true for women, too.
Yeah, it's only gonna get better. Whereas women are like, well, by default, people are gonna start seeing me as a cat lady or old maid or whatever. And like, I think that, there's just so much stuff going on when we transition. You're not gonna remember that, like, oh, why
I've heard Malcolm talk about this before. Yeah, they're gonna hit the wall.
I'm like, people don't like become women until they're like 23, so they get like 7 years of being attractive or less.
Oh, that's rough. Oh, and then no one wants you if you're a trans woman or a cis woman.
Yeah, that is like the worst time to transition. You get like a few years of being, and you can see that this is what she defined as a good life. This is why I'm talking about being. When I say a Cenobite, this is another blog post talked about.
I'll be right back. Okay, hold on. What's funny about this is that they're basically proving that the wall isn't real by their own logic, because they're saying that trans women aren't really women, but they hit the wall. Okay, well, I'm saying that trans women are women and the wall doesn't fucking exist, or it does kind of exist, but it's not really a wall. It's more of like a slow burn, and it also affects everybody, not just women. But by their own logic, they're saying that trans women hit the wall too, but that doesn't make any fucking sense, because trans women are men in disguise, remember? So they shouldn't hit the wall. They should, like, age, great, like wine or cheese, okay? But they're still men in dresses, of course, right? They're still men in disguise, but, like, they should be more attractive as they get older, right? That's how it works. That's how it works for men. They get a little gray streak, right? That's what happens to men, right? We get more buff, we get more muscular, and we get a little gray streak going, right? Why can't trans women do that too? Why don't they age gracefully? That doesn't really make any fucking sense at all. Like, at all. Alright, anyway, I'll be right back. I'm back. I have a tasty treat in the oven. Gotta set a timer for it. All right, back to this.
Because she's with a partner who really liked hate.
Damn, dude, no wonder people end up with freaking, just cats. And they just, yeah, man, it sucks.
Her in the face. That was like her thing. Her dom really, and she hit her so hard. She taught her new ways to deal with pain. So like actually, a Cenobite.
Yeah.
This is,
It just says, if I'm fucking them, they're a woman.
So she then goes on to
She
say,
didn't get work done. I feel like most trans women
I
that
think she
follow.
just did hormones to do the top.
Okay, it's like if you got work done, man, like no one's anything. Like, don't come for my weave, don't touch my nose job. Like,
well, I think that this is, it's like what type of cis lesbian is she able to get to date her? The type who just wants to punch her in the face.
this is so rough.
No, it is sad and it is rough, and that is why I am reading it, because I think that people need to know it look, if you start with, I just moved to Brooklyn, and I'll read this again, because I think this lifestyle is what she thought would be forever, not for 4 years.
Yeah.
A twinkie, thinnish, blonde girl with curves in all the right places. Yeah, my first 4 years in New York were busy. A revolving door of sexual partners, one after another. Threesomes, couple swaps, sex parties, T-girls effing me to compare notes to other
Jeez.
T-girls. For the first time
And
in my
also,
life,
I don't want someone to like have sex with me to compare their experience having sex
Yeah,
with
what the hell is that? What the fuck?
other people. I can't even think about like you comparing sex with me with other people.
Dude, I
Like,
would fucking cry if people were doing that. That's unreal. What the hell?
it makes me so like, no. Like,
Right?
how could, like, why does she want this? Why does she want
Yeah,
this?
for the
why?
first time in my life, I felt hot, attractive, sexual, and not just sexually appealing, but sexually appealing to other women. So when she's saying here, why does she want it? Because she wanted the affirmation.
I guess because she assumed people would compare her favorably.
Because
Okay.
she wanted affirmation. She was doing all of this for affirmation. It's very clear. That she
Jeez.
thought that this affirmation wasn't a spigot.
The problem is like that doesn't last forever, you know? That doesn't last forever.
The very small.
Personal anecdote to you earlier.
Look, all of these people that are in this frame, except for maybe the woman, okay? I haven't quite figured her out yet, because she doesn't ever fucking talk. Okay, she just sits there and nods her head. It's so weird, okay? People watching this on YouTube, they're probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? What? What woman? Yeah, she doesn't ever talk, okay? But she's there, okay? She's there. You hear her sometimes. Okay, anyway, both Leaflet and Mr. Based Camp, okay, I suspect, that, you know, as you know, I feel this way about Mr. Based Camp, but Leaflet as well, okay, they envy this sort of thing, okay, they posture, like, I feel so bad for them, that sounds so terrible, oh, having sex with so many people, that sounds terrible, oh, I would hate that. Okay, and they think this, but they posture differently because conservatism, okay? But don't be mistaken. I'm not endorsing this kind of lifestyle, right? Because it's not healthy, okay? To have a lot of partners very quickly and, you know, be all like loosey-goosey with your sex life. It's not a great idea, okay? You'll end up getting your feelings hurt. You think you won't, okay? Everybody thinks like, oh no, I won't. No, not me. Not me. I will. I am a stoic, right? I'm a rock. I've been through so much. I'm just saying. It's like that. It's like I always say. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing, okay? Yeah, there you go. There you go. I'm dropping wisdom. I'm dropping some hot, steamy wisdom on your chest. Alright, I'm shooting some wisdom into your eyeballs. Ah, not the eyes. Not the eyes. No, anything but the eyes. Like, you can hate me, but you can't hate the truth. Okay, you can hate me for saying it, but that's right, woketards, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, hippies, right? Free love and all that. But, like, it's true, okay? If you sleep around, it's gonna bite you in the ass, okay? No pun intended. No pun intended. It is. Straight up. Alright, let's keep going. Let's listen to these dipshits talk about how they hate sex so much. They just, oh, I would be so sad if I were having sex with a bunch of people. I would hate that. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you don't fantasize about it every day, about like dominating and like being Chad or whatever, you fucking dickless loser.
Even got the druggy crowd, but nobody could stand them. So we decided that to be trans and dropped out of school. Oh damn. Thank you for the bit.
And Leaflet.
I think you Lord Warchild as well. Thank you so much.
ID bag attached to it. Yes, other trans women more specifically, but I assumed there wasn't much of a difference between cis women and trans women when it came to openly expressing queer attachment. So the point she's making here is at first, when she was doing the sleeping all around, the only people who were sleeping with her were trans women. And she just assumed that was just coincidence. She'd eventually find the cis women who liked her. The fun had to end eventually. 2020 loomed, and being ogled by other trans girls had worn out its welcome. I was typecasted as the hot journalist T-girl, and I felt trapped in a setting where sexual availability was expected from me.